Well, look what we have here. We have a new ALDI Finds, the Bauhn Smart Pan and Tilt Camera. Is it any good? I have no clue. Let's open it up. Let's find out together. This is what's next. All right, before we take this apart, using our trusty dusty knife here, let's take a look at the packaging. They recommend or suggest pet monitoring. As one use, we have local and cloud storage with an asterisk. We'll look at that in a moment. Two-way audio, motion detection, and 24/7 video recording with 2 asterisks. This is a tilt and pan. It says you can't adjust the camera horizontally and vertically. Works with Google Home and works with Alexa. And it also works with Cocoon Connect. Don't even know what that is, but I guess we're going to find out. On the back, we have some additional information. Quick and easy Wi-Fi setup via the free Cocoon Connect app. See, hear, and speak through the app with HD video, it says. Motion alerts and two-way radio. Adjust the camera, again, horizontal and vertically. 24/7 monitoring, motion detection, and automatically alerts to help you monitor your home, pets, and loved ones. 1-year warranty. We should have the date. There it is. It says September 2025, the big UPC code. So here we'd have the micro SD or cloud storage required to enable 24/7 video recording feature, and there may be data charges applied. So I don't know if this comes with a micro SD card. It doesn't look like it does. We have the tilt camera, USB cable, one mount, one set of mounting screws, and a user guide. All right, I'm not a big fan of this type of packaging, but we're going to try our best to not destroy it to get this open. So let me get that done and we'll continue on. Well, I'm going to say I did a pretty good job at getting that open and not destroying the packaging too bad. All right, anyways, what do we get? Here is the camera on this mount system here with a plastic front cover. So let's take that off. Next, the mounting screws. There is the mount itself. I'm gonna guess, yep, that goes on the bottom. Our cable is actually quite long. Let's see how long this actually is. All right, I know that this desk here is 4 feet long. To connection, that's at least a 6-foot cable. There is our manual and our warranty card. All right, I'm going to say that this is the weirdest manual. So that actually is step 6 or section 6. So if you open this up, here's step 1. That's all your safety information. Open this up again. We have some FCC information, product overview. Before first use, it says know the Wi-Fi network and password. That's important. It does say that the camera does require Wi-Fi connection to communicate to the Cocoon Connect app, which we're going to try here in just a moment. And make sure your mobile device is running iOS 10 or higher or Android 4.4 or higher. And then here is our QR code. And we will set up the app. Looks like we power the camera, and then we have the installation of the camera itself. It looks like, yep, could be on a shelf or mounted on a surface. All right, so let me get this app downloaded. All right, surprisingly enough, this old iPad Air should work with it. Running iOS 12 on here. I was able to scan the code, took some time. Right off the bat, 4.8 out of 5 in the Apple App Store. The last update was 2 years ago, so there may be a thing with that. I'm going to go ahead and get that app. Well, and if you're wondering what this thing costs, it was $24. Let me zoom in just a little bit. $24.99. We do have the app, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to open up that. And then we are going to plug this in, the camera. USB-C is on the back here. Okay, snaps in, that's good. Plug in the USB. Now, it does say that after 15 to 30 seconds, the camera will reset in entering pairing mode. So right now we do have a blue light, so you should be able to see that on the camera. In the meantime, I'm going to agree to the Cocoon app. And of course, bummer, it does require some sort of login. So let me log into this and we're going to create an account and get started. Oh, there it goes. Now it's doing its thing. So there you go. I'm using the manual. I want to make sure that I do this right the first time. All right, I've created an account, got into the app itself, and it's saying add device. We are blinking blue here right now, so we're going to say add device. And right now it's showing a camera, so we're going to say add. And then I have to enter in my password, so we're going to skip that portion of it. All right, I heard a bing. It says that it's being added right now. With this iPad, this is probably going to take a while. So let's come back after it is done adding this camera to this iPad. All right, since I paused the camera and come back, now it's doing its thing. It says that it was added successfully. All right, so I'm going to move this up so you can see what is going on. I'm going to say done. And we have a percentage here real quick. Let's see, is it going to show me an image? All right, just to let you know, I do have the Nighthawk system running right now, and it did say that it did not find any issues. So we're going to consider that a plus. And right now, there you go. We got a video going on right now. But yeah, we're getting what looks like 32 kilobytes a second. The quality is okay. I can make out, it's a little pixelated, but I don't know if that is, you know, I mean, maybe that is the camera. I don't know what the resolution is on this, and I don't know if the book even tells us that. I don't think there's any spec. And wouldn't you know it, my microphone died. But anyway, so at this point, I was looking for the specs. It is a 1080p camera, 2 megapixels. We have that Type-C cable at 5 volts DC, 2.4 gigahertz Wi-Fi, compatible up to 128 gigabyte SD card, or micro SD card, and 355 degree horizontal rotation, 180 degree vertical rotation. So there you go. Those are the specs. And as you can see here, I do have it running on the iPad. And I noticed that as you kind of swipe up, the camera begins to tilt down. So that's kind of cool. Now, being the old iPad, it's not very responsive, but as you can see here, I did get it to tilt all the way up, and I'm ruining behind the scenes magic. That's how the camera looks from that angle. Well, I ended up playing a little bit more with the live stream from the camera and realized that when I brought my iPad up, I think I go into horizontal mode. Yeah. And I was like, well, wait a minute. I have these other controls. So now you have kind of this D-pad where you could kind of control the up and down and left and right motion. I'm trying to do it with the touch and realize you just have to kind of press and hold the buttons, the 4 points of the D-pad, and you can control the camera that way. But I noticed at this point, it's just so slow with this older iPad and the older operating system that I decided it's time to switch to the iPhone. Now, on some previous segments, I was having problems playing recorded video back on the iPad, so I switched to my iPhone 14, and you can see the video quality. I mean, it looks like it's running around 30 frames a second. It's decent quality. You got your timestamp in the upper left. And yeah, so that was successful. So recording is good. And then I also went to try the D-pad and control the camera, and you could see how much faster it was reacting with the iPhone. So the iPad was really a test to see, can I go with that lowest end denominator to run it? Yes, but newer devices will probably work better. Well, it looks like we have our night vision working here. Let me go ahead, and I'm going to go into the other room, and we're going to see how well this works. And I don't know if you can see me, but here I am, night vision. All right. I don't know what else we could do with it. We know that it pans, we know that it tilts. We know that it's got night vision. We know that it can record. We know that it actually has audio. So let's go ahead and take it back to the studios for my final thoughts. So this smart pan and tilt camera from Bauhn works as advertised. It's been running in my basement for the last 2 weeks since it was released. You know, I stopped by Aldi today, just for you, and there were still some stock available. So who's it for? You know, that was a great question. I was thinking of that myself and just said, you know, I think it's great for someone who just wants to dabble with a home security camera but doesn't want to get locked into a subscription service. I think that makes complete sense. It does make for a great solution for college students, for their dorms or apartments, or maybe those who are older wanting some peace of mind while they are out and away from their house. Not only does it work while I'm on the same Wi-Fi network, but I did access it several times while using my iPhone on the cell network. Speaking of which, you know, that Connect app, which is needed to work with the camera, works really well. It does a decent job. As you can see right here, it's working right now. It was a snap to get the camera connected, and there are a variety of functions and options that I think will satisfy a lot of people on the use of this app. There is a subscription service, but it appears to be for their cloud storage option only. That's a wrap for today. If you found this episode helpful, take a moment to click the thumbs up icon and subscribe button. And to watch another episode, you can either click here or here if you have time. That would be greatly appreciated. And until next time, I'll see you again for another episode of Hey, What's Next?